Well, as the threat of a federal government shutdown looms, fraud allegations continue to spread to at DHS. Because of last month's Annunciation tragedy, we postponed a visit by my next guest, Speaker of the House, Republican Lisa Demuth. But the Speaker, as you can see, is here now. And we want to thank you so much for being understanding and coming in today.
Yes, good morning, Esme. Good to be with you and to visit a little bit.
Absolutely. Now, one of the big issues on the table, a possible special session. The governor wants a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazine clips. You're saying that's not going to happen.
The House Republicans, me as Speaker, we're ready to come in as soon as the governor does call the special session. As a reminder to you and your viewers, the only person that can call a special session is the governor. When he does call that, though, we will go through the legislative process. That is bills that get introduced, and then they are referred to committee. In the House, though, we have a very unique situation with the tie. Anything that is done in committees and then as it makes its way to the House floor has to be bipartisan. So bills are introduced, they will be heard in the appropriate committees, voted up or down there, and then if they make it through, we'll be voting on the House floor for something.
Okay. I want to ask you about a poll from KSTP that came out last week that says, should assault-style weapons be banned? 53% said yes, 35% no, 12% not sure. Your thoughts on that poll, because it shows a clear majority outside of the margin of error supporting this.
You know, when we look at that poll, and I don't know the exact number, that was polled in that, but I think that is very telling. What most Minnesotans want, as you actually get into conversations, is they want our communities to be safe. They want schools to be safe. They want our kids to be safe. And the way we approach that is very, very vast. As you just reported, there was another deadly shooting overnight in Minneapolis. Right. And so when we look at that, we have to understand the terminology that we're using when we refer to firearms and how that relates, and is it going to keep people safer? That's top of mind for everyone.
And you actually are a parent of two kids that survived a school shooting in Minnesota, the Rocori High School shooting. And that back in 2003, I know that's still very much with you. I want to ask you your thoughts about, you believe mental health and more investment in mental health is the way to go. Can you explain that?
I do. There's a wide approach when we think of school safety. That's allowing our schools to have dollars that they can use in the best way possible to ensure safety to the best of their ability. But going back to 2003, Esme, as you said, I had two students in the building in the Rocori tragedy. My kids came home physically uninjured, but it changes a family, it changes individuals, and it changes a community lifelong. That is absolutely accepted there in the fact that nothing is the same. What we have to look at, though, is what is motivating people to lash out, to hurt others, and that's what I want to address.
I want to ask you about the fraud situation at the Capitol, because it seems literally every week new incidents are cropping up. Just in the past week, we had one charged with the autism program fraud. And just last week, payments to 11 disability programs and 17 affiliates halted because of alleged fraud. 8 people were indicted the prior week, and one charge was charged with autism fraud. This is on top of 280 million people for Feeding Our Future. What is going on here? I mean, why does this keep happening? Is the application process flawed?
When we look at the unbelievable amount of fraud here in Minnesota, what this is showing is that everything that we've been talking about for the last 7 years and a little bit longer, reports that have come in from the nonpartisan Office of Legislative Auditor that have pointed to agencies and said there is a lack of internal controls, things need to change. Those reports were mostly ignored. We set up the Fraud Prevention and Agency Oversight Committee in the legislature this year, and it is really shining a light. I think your viewers and more Minnesotans are looking, saying, what is going on? Every dollar, every taxpayer dollar that goes out to fraud means it's somebody, like you said, in disability services or autism services that are not getting served, and we very rarely can recoup those dollars. We can be proud of the fact that we're finally admitting that there's fraud and prosecuting. My intent is we have got to stop this from the beginning. We need to look at the internal controls and safeguards, and if we have one person or agency that is fraud in one area, they should not be receiving any state tax dollars until that issue is taken care of.
I want to ask you, there's a number of big elections. Every member of the Minnesota House and Senate is up for elections, but there's also the U.S. Senate seat that is open and a governor's race. I know there are a lot of Republicans, because I've heard from them, who would like to see you running for one of those statewide seats. Are you ruling it out?
What I'll say, Esme, and the way that I never expected to be in politics, and the way that I've approached everything is looking at it. I'm honored that people would even have an ability to think that I could handle something like that. That's an honor. But really, right now, what I'm doing, although I'm not completely ruling it out, I'm not telling you, oh no, I'm also definitely not telling you yes. The thing about
both
it
seats?
Is, for sure, not the U.S. Senate. I know I wouldn't be doing that. I have kids and grandkids and aging parents, and so I love Minnesota and I want to be here. But the
governor's race?
I'm not ruling it out, but I'm not saying yes. The thing is, as you just talked, there's talk of a special session. And we go back in February on the 17th. I am really doing everything I can to prepare, especially in this unique situation of a tie, to prepare for our legislative upcoming session, whether it's in a special session or in February. That's where my focus is right now.
Well, House Speaker Lisa Demuth, thank you so much for coming down from Cold Spring. Thank you to your husband for also coming down, sitting in the studio with you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Esme.